You're listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips, where we present audiobook quality readings of the classics for your enjoyment. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, just because you're a bumpkin doesn't mean you can't be cultured. Hello and welcome to The Cultured Bumpkin. I'm Jake. So I'm excited. Why am I excited? I'm very glad you asked. I just finished recording an audiobook, which is really just a classic literature anthology, hopefully the first of many, where I read my favorite Edgar Allan Poe poems and short stories. Now, hopefully, it'll be available within the next couple of weeks, and I'll definitely let you know when and where you can get it. Which brings me to my next point. I have recently become an affiliate for Libro FM. They're an audiobook platform kind of like Audible, except you can buy books without having a membership. Now, you can get a membership too, but you don't have to. And they split their profits with local bookstores, which I love. I'm all about shopping local, so I really like this aspect. And I personally have selected Friendly City Books in Columbus, Mississippi. I interviewed their owner, Emily Liner, last week. You should check that out. We talked about Tennessee Williams. And that bookstore becomes the recipient of a cut of whatever purchases you make. So if you join them, you could pick your local bookstore, or you could pick, if you don't have one near you or you don't know anybody, you could pick Friendly City Books and support my local bookstore. Either way, you'd be supporting local. There's a link in the show notes where you can get a deal using the promo code BUMPKIN, right? I also have a playlist on there of some of my favorite books and voice performances, if you care to check it out. Alex Jennings reading The Horse and His Boy, Derek Jacobi reading The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Andy Serkis reading The Hobbit, Kenneth Branagh reading, Magician's Nephew, and David Tennant reading How to Train Your Dragon. I've just got a bunch of stuff. Dan Stevens reading Going Solo by Roald Dahl, his story of being a fighter pilot in World War II. Anyway, by doing that, you'll be helping the Cultured Bumpkin stay active and keep the bills paid, the hosting and all up to date and all that stuff. And another free way to help the show is to click on the show notes. In the show notes, there's a link called My Demos. Now, it's to a site that is very algorithm-based. So by simply clicking the link, you're helping me, because it's sort of, the more clicks you get, the more visible you are to the rest of the world that's actually shopping for voiceover services. So if you would click My Demos, just click it, maybe listen to my commercial demo or my narration demo, that'd be very helpful, and I'd appreciate it very much. That'll keep me out of the factory and keep this podcast on the air. All right. Now, there's another way, a third way, I suppose, to support the show, and that is there's another link in the show notes, a lot of links in the show notes today, called Buy Me a Coffee. Now, on it, there's a little storefront, you might say. I have a PDF download, which is free, about getting started in voice acting. I also have a Edgar Allan Poe ebook, which is basically I read the audiobook, so it's got 3 poems and 3 short stories, and they're all in, ebook PDF format. And if you purchase that, I'll send it to you. And then there's a recording of The Raven, and if you purchase that, you get the download right then. It's also commercial rights are with it. If you're ever making a YouTube video and you need The Raven for whatever reason, you're welcome to use it. Use it as you wish. It'd be nice if you could credit me, but even not, no worries. It's yours if you buy it. The site also functions like a virtual tip jar. So any purchases or donations through the site help keep this podcast going. And my goal is to use any kind of proceeds to upgrade my studio to bring you, the listener, a better experience. Keep upgrading my stuff. In the Army, we had a saying, always improve your fighting position. You're walking along, let's stop. Okay, everybody take a knee. Get behind your rucksack. You take it off, you lay down behind it. Well, there's your position. Okay, we're going to be here a while. All right, you get your E-tool out and you start digging a hole so you can get down in it. If you're going to be there even longer, how about we fill some sandbags? Even longer, let's get a bulldozer in here and make some HESCO barriers and some berms, stuff like that. Anyway, I take the same approach to my studio. I used to be in my clothes closet, then I moved into a sound-treated closet, and now I've moved into a standalone studio, but I'm always looking to upgrade equipment and stuff like that. Anyway, if you make any purchases, that kind of thing, you'll be helping me improve my fighting position and getting more. It'll help my business. It'll help this podcast, and I would appreciate it. But you know what? You don't have to do any of that. You do not have to do any of that. My goal is to keep just posting whether anybody buys anything or not. You know what I mean? So you be you. If you want to send something my way, great. And if not, just sit back and relax. This is America, baby. I realize I'm in a lot of countries now. I think England, Great Britain, is my second most after the United States, and then Spain. I get a lot of listens from Spain. Hola to all of you wonderful Spanish, and hello to you Brits. Speaking of Brits, I am going to read now Shakespeare's Sonnet number 18. It's one of my favorites. It's about love. It's beautiful. I think everybody likes it. I don't know of anybody who doesn't like Sonnet 18. But this is beautiful, and let's get some nice music going here. Okay, I don't think that's going to work. Let's try something else. That's a little more like it. Okay. Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. In every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. I think that's my favorite Shakespeare sonnet. I'm not positive, but I think it is. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a review if you haven't. And tell a friend or three. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks again so much for listening. You've been listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, would you mind going and subscribing and leaving a nice review on whatever podcast platform you heard this on? I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.